Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another one of my Gay Gamer video podcasts. A couple quick movie reviews. I went to see two movies this past week. First, I saw Last Christmas, which it's too early for Christmas movies, but what are you going to do? I don't think it would still be in theaters in December when it would be more appropriate to watch a Christmas movie. It was actually quite entertaining. I was surprised. It's not normally the kind of movie I'd go see, but the trailers seemed really, I liked the trailers, and for some reason, I liked Emilia Clarke in those trailers, and I don't normally like her. I haven't seen her in anything that I've liked her in yet, because I feel like everything I've seen her in, she's been badly miscast. But here, as a troubled British girl, having a terrible life, she was quite good. And of course, Henry Golding was dreamy. And they're marketing this as a romantic comedy. You should know going into it, if you plan to see it, it is a romantic comedy, but it's gonna, tug on those heartstrings. So just be forewarned going into it, because I hate going to see a movie that's marketed as one thing and then it turns out it's something else and you're like, what? I was not mentally and emotionally prepared for this. So I knew the twist going in. I guessed it. I hadn't heard, this is definitely the twist, but everyone had hinted at it and I was like, it's kind of obvious, and as the movie goes on it becomes more obvious. But because it was British, there was enough snark to kind of cut the treacle, so it wasn't a completely sappy holiday movie. So that was kind of delightful. The other movie that I was also surprised that I enjoyed was Charlie's Angels. I didn't have much going into it. The trailers looked like whatever. It's an action movie. It doesn't look great, but whatever. I have AMC A-List. I'll see anything just to get my money's worth. And of course I saw this in IMAX, which was completely unnecessary, but anything to get even more money, more value for my dollar. And again, just like with Emilia Clarke, I enjoyed Kristen Stewart in this movie. Don't really enjoy her. I haven't seen her in that much either. But she was actually kind of amusing, because just like The Matrix did with Keanu Reeves, this movie kind of plays with her, kind of standoffish, cold attitude sort of thing, and it sort of plays with that, and it's very enjoyable. It's just a frothy little action movie with some, feminism here and there, but I enjoy the way that they tie in the TV series and the earlier movies. And make it all one big thing that started as a small detective agency in Los Angeles, and it's now an international spy agency. So that's kind of fun, because it ties it all together and honors history. Although after the movie was over, I sort of realized, although it did sort of shit on that history in a little bit of a way, it was cute the way it all ties together, but then it sort of shits on the TV show a little bit. No spoilers. But it was surprisingly enjoyable. And at the very end, stay for the credits, because there's various little credit sequences, little extra bonus scenes, and one of those bonus scenes, I let out an embarrassingly loud gay squeal. And I went like that. It was embarrassing, and I think I was the only one to do that, so it was sad. No one else seemed to react the way I did. It's just me. So that was embarrassing. But yeah, surprisingly enjoyed both of those movies. Go figure. As for gaming, I have to admit that I have not been playing a lot of The Outer Worlds, for two reasons. One, remember last time when I said it seemed like it was really difficult and then it got easier and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I finally got the hang of it? Well, it got difficult again. And I'm like, what is going on with these difficulty spikes? Because I tried to do a side quest, and I wasn't, my conversation level wasn't high enough to talk my way out of the situation, so I had to fight, but then I got my ass handed to me, so I'm like, okay, clearly I am not meant to do this side quest yet, because I can't talk my way out of it, and I can't fight my way out of it. We'll come back later. So I go and I say, you know what, let's do the main story quest. Because this is what got me in trouble last time, is trying to do side quests ahead of the main quest. We'll do the main quest, which is where I should be leveled up enough for. But as I'm doing the main quest, everything was fine while I was just investigating and talking and whatever. I go off in the thing, go wander to find the lab, and then I'm attacked by these monsters, and it was a rough fight. I didn't die, but I came close, and it was tough. And I'm not sure if there's something about the combat that I'm not getting, or if I'm just not very good at the game. If that's the case, I can still drop the difficulty down to easy, or story, or whatever they called it, and then I can at least play the game, and, you know. It's just that whenever I do that, I find that it ends up being super easy, and, like, it becomes kind of boring, because there's no challenge to any of it. But the other reason why I haven't played a lot of it is because, as I said, I wasn't a big fan of the Fallout games, and this is very Fallout, so it isn't necessarily a world that I want to go to and visit. I don't say, oh, I can't wait to see what's next. It's like, no, that lab is going to be ugly and run down and boring and full of monsters, and it's just bleh. And it's not someplace I want to get excited about exploring, you know. Which is why I have spent the last week playing a lot more Dragon Quest on my Switch. A, because I can play it wherever, on the train, at lunch, at the laundromat, etc. But also because I like the story, the characters are charming and compelling, and I want to see what happens next. So I have that as a pull, as opposed to the Outer Worlds, where I'm not really into the story, and I don't really care what happens next necessarily. It's just, you know, it hasn't really grabbed me the way that Dragon Quest has, so I've been playing a lot more Dragon Quest, honestly. And swapping that with Ring Fit Adventure, which I'm enjoying now that I have kind of, like, accepted it for what it is. Much in the way that when I was doing Wii Fit, I was frustrated initially because I couldn't do certain things. Like, I was like, I want more of this. And it's like, no, not possible. But I was like, it's fine. You know, it was really good for the cardio and the running and the everything to get me into actual running. Here, I wish there was more cardio in Ring Fit, but there isn't. So it's frustrating, but I have to accept that, and I will simply augment it with some other kind of cardio. It's getting cold out now, so I don't know if that's going to actually be actual running. I may just do Wii Fit running in the living room. But I like the ring, and you have the resistance band, and it's more for toning and conditioning and, you know, that sort of thing. So there's a lot more variety of exercises than with Wii Fit. So I really like that. And then also there's the fact that it puts it in an RPG game that, you know, keeps you playing, and you're like, oh, let me just do one more level. Oh, let me just finish this boss fight, you know. And then you're working out and sweating, and that's kind of great. So I appreciate that. And I do want to keep playing Dragon Quest because there's a lot of Switch games that I want to play. And I know that y'all are playing Pokemon right now. I see it. I see it in my friends list, which seems to be evenly split between Sword and Shield, I've noticed, when I've checked. I haven't done a scientific study, but it appears to be relatively even. I am not playing Pokemon, obviously. I'm still playing Dragon Quest. And then after Dragon Quest, I want to play Luigi's Mansion. Then I also would like to play Witcher 3. So Pokemon is like down the list over there. Also, there are other games I want to play before Pokemon, but also I feel like Pokemon may not be for me. Like, everyone loves it. They get all up into it. They're all excited for the new Pokemon. They want to see the evolutions, and they're like, woohoo! And I can't remember the last Pokemon game I genuinely enjoyed. I remember getting the one on the 3DS and enjoying the upgrade in graphics, even if they weren't in 3D all the time. But after playing it a while, I'm just like, no, it's still the same game. You're a kid. Pick from one of those 3 Pokemon, go on an adventure, collect a ton of more Pokemon, because you gotta catch them all, and battle gym leaders and randos, and then fight against whatever the bad guy is, Team Rocket or whoever, and then that's it. Rinse, repeat. You know, lather, rinse, repeat. It's very much the same exact kind of game. Which is why I was intrigued by Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, because it was different gameplay, at least. But I, of course, as you know, if you're a regular watcher of these podcasts, you know I'm not going to get into it, why I didn't get around to playing that one. So I would still like to play that one. I think I might enjoy it more than this one, which is going to be basically the same Pokemon game, but with a nice Switch graphical overhaul. And the pretty graphics, like on the 3DS, I'm afraid will only get me so far, and then I will just get bored with the same rock, paper, scissors over and over again. Because I also don't care about, like, the shiny ones and breeding and all the extra little doohickey things that they put in. I'm just like, oh, it's too much. I liked Pokemon Red. It was delightful. So yeah, no Pokemon for me. But y'all enjoy, and let me know if it is indeed slightly different than the usual Pokemon game. Or if I should maybe focus my attention on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, just because that'll be a little bit of a different game than what I'm bored by every time I play it when they release it with a new coat of paint. I'm going to wrap it up this week. That's done. We're done. I'm out. And I'll see you back here next time for more of whatever. Bye!